YouTube, what the crap's going on? Welcome back to Total War Attila, where I've got a fun replay here for you. It's going to be Western Empire Alliance here, so two Western Empire players going up against the Danes and the Eastern Empire. The submitter did tell me that this took place quite a long time ago in Attila. It wasn't a recent battle, but he thought it was a fun one. And it ought to be interesting because really the Eastern Empire has the HeirofCarthage, and the Danes, of course, have Nordic Axe Band, which are going to be a powerful unit indeed. The Western Romans, as far as what they may have going for them, they do have tanky infantry, but the problem is that it's not very offensive. However, the Western Empire does have access to elite Palatina. This is a fair shock infantry with a pretty good charge. Let's take a look. So 4 Fundatores, 4 elite Palatina up front, 4 Armigeri Defensores in the back. Elite Ballistari, quite an investment here, but if these guys make it to late game, they're going to be devastating. 3 Sculli, cavalry over here, a Magister Militum, 2 Cataphractari. So that was the submitter's army. Over here, 3 Fundatores for this Western Empire player, and he's got kind of an odd mix of infantry. He's also got 2 elite Ballistari. He's got a couple of Herculani Signoras here, and these are the elite Roman legionaries, essentially. Whatever these version Comita Tenseis, I don't know. Anyway, these guys are elite troops. They're very high health. Very good weapon damage, but fairly low charge and attack. So more of a tanky unit, which is funny because they're a tanky unit, but they have a defensive testudo. Or maybe it's an offensive testudo. I don't remember, but no, it's a defensive testudo, which gives them a bonus versus cavalry. It doesn't make any dang sense. Again, Attila needs patches. I don't know why Creative Assembly has failed to patch some of this stuff in the game. Or why they haven't paid attention to it. It's really kind of killed a lot of the fan base of Attila. I mean, it's still fun in campaign, and if you like the campaign and that's what you're getting a game for, I think Attila's worth your time. It's got a lot of fun campaign action in it, but from a multiplayer standpoint, it gets pretty disappointing because of some of the things they haven't patched, like attacking testudo's broken, defensive testudo's pointless because it makes your guys good versus cavalry when they're infantry or sword infantry. It doesn't make sense. Spears in the game are too weak and too easily killed by cavalry charges. Cavalry are immune to impact damage, which makes elephants worthless and it makes cavalry overpowered. There's way too many things that just need to be fixed in this game. Skirmisher mechanics are derpy. Like if you tell your skirmishers to aim at a unit right here, 90% of their shots are going to land like way back here behind that unit. So I mean, it's just weird stuff like that in Attila that needs to be fixed. Anyway, 3 Fundatores, few Herculani Signoras, mix of Armigeri Defensores, Protectores Domestici in this army. Come as general. Cavalry-wise, there's an Equites Promoti, but mostly Sculli cavalry here. And yeah, that's pretty much their army. So for the Eastern Empire, 4 Menelatoi, 4 Fundatores, 2 Sagittari. There's an Equites Promoti and 3 Sculli over here, 3 Hedegrea Guard there, 1 there, and Cataphractari right here, and a Magister Militum to kind of round it all off. There's 4 Nordic Horse Lords for the Dane player. There's 3 Nordic Warriors here, and then I think there's some elite Nordic Warriors on this flank. Interesting choice. You don't really see the elite Nordic Warriors a lot. They're pretty expensive for what you get. In the back, they've got 3 Nordic Axe warbands. These are the guys that I would have spammed out a lot of because they're very high damage, crippling to enemy infantry if you can get them in without being cav charged, and they do have support from elite Nordic spearmen. These guys can stop cavalry charges, one of the few spear units that can, but only if they're braced and someone still charges their cavalry right into them. So again, not completely overcoming the somewhat derpy nature of Attila, but this is a fun battle. I'm sitting here telling you about some of the things that are derpy, but I think you all like this. There's some pretty fun action in here. So I think that, you know, from a sheer strategy standpoint, I kind of like the elite Ballistari here, because you know that the Eastern Empire is going to have an infantry advantage with the Hedegea Guard. It makes it challenging, though, because elite Ballistari are expensive, but if your cavalry can destroy the enemy cavalry, these elite Ballistari will wreck what's ever left on the field, as long as there's not way too many of them. So I like the fact that there's elite Ballistari on the field, very good at dealing with axe units or any infantry unit if they're given the time to do so, but they need to be protected. So from a strategy standpoint, the Western Empire just needs to protect those Ballistari units, and they can win the game in late game, even if they lose the initial infantry fight. The Eastern Empire and the Nordics, the Danes, need to attack and make a decisive blow quickly so that they can keep pressure on these killing units here, these Ballistari. The Menelattoi is not a bad choice. I mean, they could just come up the center here, hold the center of Elite Palatina. The Elite Palatina are not going to be as good versus the Menelattoi as, say, like these Armigeri Defensores, because they have a little bit higher charge. So, in any case, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to push the center here and just push. Try and get in, try and get your Hedarea Guard to kill their cavalry quickly, because if you can push and get rid of those crossbows, I think the victory goes to the Eastern Empire and the Danes. I think just by faction, I would give the advantage to the Eastern Empire and the Danes, but we'll see how the Western Empire manages to play their cards here. This guy is a little bunched up through here, very blocky formations. Interesting decision, because I mean, a cavalry charge in Attila, even into a blocky formation, is still going to wreck the crap out of it. And right here is just that same thing. Here comes the Nordic Horse Lords hurling their javelins, but their javelins go into the Fundatores, which is good for the Herculani Signoras. They managed to interrupt the charge, and the Herculani Signoras are going to... Well, I think that's the Signoras. No, these are Protectores Domestici, my bad. I didn't see the little purple thing on their helmet. They're going to get into this fight relatively unscathed. So this little engagement right here, not great, but not terrible for the Western Empire. This is not going to be a charge that the Scolai like. They're going to get hit by a Cataphractari. Fortunately for them, it's only a medium shot cavalry, but still, they're going to do a lot of damage on the charge to the Scolai cavalry. But Armigeri Defensores coming in to support. It's a good job by the Roman. There are some Nordic warriors back here, but they actually got tagged by some of the units that overlapped. Look at the Dane axes being thrown back here by the Hedarea guards. This is where things are going to get ugly. So the Hedarea guards are going to come in here and start just absolutely chopping up these Armigeri Defensores. Let's watch some heads roll here, as no doubt they probably will. Attila is all about the beheading. I'm surprised we haven't seen a decapitation yet. I'm still waiting for it, which is a long wait. Sometimes you can even get like synchronized decapitation. Anyway, we didn't get any there. We'll find some eventually. Anyway, just kind of a slow initial engagement here. Magister Militum being thrown in. That's probably questionable this early. With the Hedarea guards in this fight, though, they are going to get some kills, and all these units are at pretty big risk, I think, right now. And then the friendly Magister Militum coming in. Again, probably questionable to commit your general so early in this fight. This general could be critical at getting rid of Dane axes in the late game or protecting your crossbows, so this is a questionable move, and they actually even get stopped by a Fundatores, at least partially stopped. They're going to get a charge, but I mean, a Magister Militum's not really going to swing that fight. More Hedarea guards, so this is a very poor position to be in for the Western Empire. Let's see what's happening over here. These Herculani, or Protectores Domestici, holding out for now. He's losing an Armigeri Defensores over here. On this flank, let's see, Armigeri Defensores holding out against the Nordics Axe Band, and this Herculani Signoras is surrounded, but are still managing to hold their own in this fight because they have so much health and defense. The Nordic units do have the charge and a little bit of better attack, but I mean, these are some pretty tanky Roman units. The problem is that they're just being completely surrounded, but still getting a fair number of kills on those Herculani units. And then up against, right here, these Herculani Signoras are going to rip apart this Nordic Warlord. That's not a fight the Warlord wants to be in. Crossbows back here, and it looks like they're getting some excellent flank shots right into this elite Nordic Spearman. That's an expensive unit to be getting it shot up by crossbows. I wonder if they're going to get any more hits. Let's see. So the Magister Militum gets out alive, which is fortunate. Let's see. Oh yeah, these Herculani Signoras are just putting the boot on the throat of these elite Nordic warriors. Those guys got crushed. Same thing here by Armigeri Defensores helping to clean up that fight. Now let's see here, some more Armigeri hanging tough with the elite Nordic warriors. So the elite Nordic warriors not looking so elite at the moment. 72 kills already in these Ballistari. These ones are going to get caught by an elite Nordic spearman. That's a mistake. They're going to run away though. Comez General is going to smash these Nordic warriors. They don't get their... Oh, they may have gotten a javelin off. I can't tell, but one way or the other, they just smashed those Nordic warriors. But time to get away from those Nordic horse lords for sure.
The men are running.
So, yet to have an engagement over here with these Hedarea guards. The Eastern Empire is waiting quite a long time, and that's probably not good because the Nordic player is getting wrapped up by the blue player who's playing as the Western Empire. So, Herculani Signoras, 3 units of them now free, pouring back into the battle over here. And then these elite Ballistari are alive with no cavalry to contend with them. So this is the nightmare scenario for the Danes, and they're going to have to live that nightmare scenario. And there's a pretty juicy blob here for those crossbows to fire into. They've got the Nordic Warlord targeted, and he's taking a nasty hail of crossbow bolts. Yep, there they are flying in, so this is definitely not good for the Dane player. Okay, we're about to get an engagement over here. So the yellow player throwing in their cavalry here with Guard support. This is questionable, because if these Skulli get loose and get to the crossbows, it's not going to be pretty. I mean, you do have Elite Palatina, which will kill some of the Guards, so we'll see. But, I mean, on just an open field charge, Guard are going to crush Elite Palatina. Now, if the Guard don't get a charge, the Elite Palatina can do okay, but they themselves would have to get a clean charge. So this Guard off the field, so there was 2 Guards over here that are now gone. That's a big loss for the Eastern Empire, and the Dane general just kicked the bucket. So this Western Empire player has got this one wrapped up, and it's not looking great for the Eastern Empire player over here, because really those Guards are his only killing power, and the Elite Palatina are going to come in here through their own cavalry, which means that the Guard do not get a charge, and the Elite Palatina are going to get more kills here than they otherwise would. These graphics really are beautiful in this game. Attila is really a nice looking game. It runs poorly, and it needs a few things fixed. That's kind of the reason why I'd like to see it fixed, because it really does look good. And it has some good modding potential too. I know they're working on the Ancient Empires mod, which is actually basically taking Attila back to the time period of Rome 2, so that they can take advantage of the changes that came with Total War Attila, the positive changes. Let's see. So an Elite Palatina going to get in here and try and charge these Guards before they can break loose from that cavalry. I don't think the Guard really get a counter charge. It doesn't look like it. So those are actually fairly favorable engagements for the Elite Palatina. I mean, look here, where the Guard didn't get a charge and they'd already taken a little bit of damage, they're still going to clean up that Elite Palatina or get close. No, they got close. They routed. But, I mean, that was... You can just see how tough those Danax units are. Very tough. They are an excellent unit. They're expensive, but they're an excellent unit. Skulli charging Skulli, but one is stronger than the other. The red cavalry unit would win that, but there's going to be support coming in from a Comez. Not really an anti-cavalry unit, but it's going to be able to tank out some damage and cause some damage here. So, however, another Skulli going to come in here on the Comez, so this is going to end up being kind of a trading fight. Nordic bows fleeing the battle. These Herculani Signores look like they're going to try and get over here to this cavalry fight. The Comez general is actually going to eat it here, but at this point it's probably safe. And then here, these Armigeri Defensores actually can just take the pike units head on. They'll take a little damage, but they should win that fight, just because they can kind of scoot up against the pikes and start killing them. Again, they'll take some damage. It's not going to be a freebie. But these crossbows here are about to just finger lick this Minotaur here, to make a KFC reference, because we all know that's necessary in one of my videos. Look at these crossbows here, gonna fire at these Fundatorias. They're probably gonna kill some of their own men here. Oh yeah. But the Fundatorias are getting hammered by that kind of stuff, so... Yeah, all that's left over here is a Skulli, and it's actually starting to waver. The Comez General might tank that out. That's impressive. They're losing decisively, and they tanked it out. Well, there you go. It's a Pyrrhic victory. So the Western Empire pulling off a victory. Don't see that too often in Attila. Normally they just get raffle stomped by superior shock or heavy melee cav. It was actually submitted by this player here, I believe, the Jim Gaming GYT or whatever. Anyway, I appreciate you submitting. It was fun to see an Attila replay. I haven't seen one in a while. I haven't had time to mess with it as far as getting you more replays. But yeah, good kills on the Fundatorias, really nice use of them. And of course, these guys were basically unscathed, so the late game was going to be ugly for the Eastern Empire and the Danes. Let's check out his Western Roman team. Look at these Herculani Signores here. Tanked out a lot of kills because, honestly, I mean, these were the only, well, here, for the Danes, these axes were the only units that could properly deal with these Herculani Signores. And then honestly, Armigeri Defensores and Protectores Domestici are going to trade pretty nicely with the rest of these units that come from the from the Dane player here. So he brought units that were actually going to trade good for the Romans, so that didn't work in his favor. And then the Hetero Guards definitely getting more kills than any other units, but just kind of getting overwhelmed in the end. Hope you all enjoyed this one. I know I did. I will be back with some more battles for you in the future. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.